I've been trying to make a video for you guys for quite some time, and I just was never really sure how to do it. And I still don't really know, honestly. Forex has afforded me some of the greatest opportunities that I've ever come across. And I think that people need to pursue it. People need to learn how to do it. It's a wonderful discipline, and it teaches you so much about your life and what you need to work on in order to have more integrity, if you're willing to learn. You can make money without learning those things, but it's going to bite you in the butt eventually at some point or another. I owe everybody an explanation and an apology. This year has been very, very difficult, and at the same time incredibly rewarding. As you know, we developed an algorithm, and it is incomplete. It is fantastic. It's great. It helps out with back testing. You can even automate your trades with it. But it's not done. There was more that needed to be done to it. And I made a terrible error. The money that I had had for my balance in my Forex trading account, when we were really in the thick of things, developing the algorithm, I stopped trading. And that, of course, stopped my income. And so I took the money that was in my trading account and I made alternative investment. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. In fact, there are going to be legal proceedings regarding that matter, probably for the next year or two. But as a result, when I realized that I was not going to get that money back when it came time to start trading again in September, with the new algorithm and with what was possible, I didn't have that money, and so I didn't have the income. And so in September, I had to go back into consulting. And unfortunately, that consumed the majority of my time. Now, the executive team at Trading Titans, they were aware of this. Unfortunately, I didn't even communicate to them immediately because I was embarrassed. I didn't like the fact that that's how I did it. And when it came time to start trading again, and teaching trading again, I couldn't bring myself to do it because I wasn't actively doing it as my full-time employment. When I first started teaching it, I was doing pretty good, and I went full-time right around the same time that I started doing YouTube videos and teaching people how to do it, and so I felt that it was fine for me to start teaching. And again, there is nothing wrong. I don't even take back anything that I taught. But when it came time to pick things back up again in September, I couldn't do it because I wasn't doing it as my full-time income. I became a consultant again, and I had to leave Forex in order to maintain the standard of living that I want. So I do apologize for letting people down. We have a great product that is on the table. Some people are still using it, but we're going to table it for now. And I would love it if the people that started working with it were to continue. But again, that's up to them. I get that, not having someone at the helm that is actively trading and making that money can be, that too would not be teaching trading or teaching how to use the tool with integrity. But I would love it I would love it if someone were to take that project and run forward with it. Find a trader that would go along with that principle, those principles, and perhaps you can find someone within the no-nonsense Forex community. That's where a lot of my training came from, and much of what we poured into the algorithm came from the wisdom and guidance from that community. Yeah. There's another reason why I haven't made this video up to this point, and I owe people this explanation. As we can agree, this world is crazy right now. Literally crazy. I knew that COVID was not going to be deadly. It wasn't going to be something that was going to wipe humanity out. The models that they came out with within the first few months were simply outrageous. And when we take into consideration the actual results, it's proof that there was no backing whatsoever, no factual backing whatsoever to their models. But that's not the worst of it. You see, the community that I was involved with in finance, in macroeconomics, in the geopolitical sphere, we all knew that the beginning of 2020 was going to be rocky and that there was going to be a crash. We just didn't know how they were going to pull it off without taking full responsibility for their absolutely horrendous and criminal monetary policies. We knew about the ghost cities. We knew about the quantitative easing. We knew about Iran's $600 billion deal with China, and how they agreed to not use the US dollar, and how the US retaliated by putting sanctions on Iran. We knew all about that. We knew of the faltering petrodollar. We knew. We just didn't know how they were going to pull it off. And I'm not here to debate whether or not COVID is real. I let people make those choices on their own. But whether COVID is real and whether or not it's deadly, whether or not it's going to wipe out humanity is not important. Really, it's not. We've got far bigger issues at hand. The entire financial system that we have all been accustomed to operating within is crumbling. It's falling apart. It's like a poorly built wagon being pushed down a steep hill, and it's rattling apart. And I cannot fathom how it's lasted as long as it has. But it has. But those days are very close to coming to an end. Literally, the life support that the global economy was placed on in 2008 was unplugged in 2019. We saw it. We saw the inverted yield curve, and we knew that we only had about a year left before the crisis would happen. And sure enough, it was literally 11, maybe 10 months. That's not the point. The point is, I'm also not able, in good, sound conscience, promote the idea of trading Forex anymore. If you know how to do it and you're making money at it, good. Good. I commend you. Do it. But I'm walking away. Because I don't believe in 12 months it's going to exist. And if it does exist, none of the rules that I follow, none of the rules that we've been accustomed to learning are going to apply. This is a revolution on literally hundreds of fronts. There are hundreds of aspects of our lives that are being revolutionized as we speak. And I believe the greatest of these is the revolution of how we interact with finance. I believe that there's a revolution within the relationship that we have with money and how we earn it. This YouTube channel is probably going to go away. I'm not going to be posting any more on it. If I do, I haven't really honestly, I haven't decided how I'm going to structure this yet. I have another YouTube channel that I've kind of shared with some people in my local area, sharing some of this information with I'm not going to get into all that. If you want to follow me, I'm still on Discord. Go ahead and send me a friend request on Discord. The Trading Titans community, I'm going to be closing it down at the end of the year. I may open something else up, especially as I dive into the revolutionized financial markets. But I have to tell everybody, if you get one thing out of what I teach, if you get one thing out of all of the instructions that I have given you and how I've shown you how the markets are manipulated, let this be the number one thing that you take away from everything that I've done. Do not, if you can help it, do not partake in the central bank of digital currencies. That will be the end of society as we know it. And it would begin a downward spiral into a dystopia. And again, I'm not going to get into all of that because, people are going to have tons of disagreements with me, and I would be happy to debate you on my views about that. But I'm telling you right now, that's a trap. And everything that we have come to know about the financial system is coming to a close. And you have to do everything that you possibly can to find a financial solution. A solution rather to this financial system. And time is running out. I have to say that as well. Time is running out. We don't have much more time. Again, like I say, I don't think that by the end of 2022, I could be wrong, and I hope I am. I don't think that by the end of 2022 that there will be a foreign exchange in the form that we currently experience it. I do believe it's going to be a completely different exchange that is going to be integrated with the CBDC. And if Forex does remain, if the exchanges do remain as a platform for people to trade, it's not going to even look the same. Like I said before, I don't think the rules are going to be the same. And you know what? I could literally talk for 2 days straight about all the reasons why I'm saying what I'm saying here in this last 15 minutes. Not even, because the first while there I was just talking about my my situation that occurred this year. But please, please, please do everything you can to avoid the CBDC. That's a trap. There are other options, and I'm happy to talk about them on another platform, and I'm pretty sure that that's where I'm going to be going in the new year. Again, I want to thank you to everyone. You guys, all of you, everybody in that community, every one of you. Was a gift to my life. Everything that I've ever done, everything that I've ever accomplished in my life has always brought me greater fulfillment. And this community, the Trading Titans community, is no exception. In fact, it is by far the most fun and fulfilling time I've ever had doing anything. And I've loved a lot of things that I've done. But this, you guys, were the greatest. So thank you. A special thank you to both Wolfie and to Fib. I am so sorry that I let you guys down. I know I did. Perhaps we can work again together on what's next. But I get that what happened was such a letdown. We had such high hopes. I am so grateful to have both of you have entered my life. I have absolutely no ill will towards either of you. I count you as my best friends, even though I certainly failed in being yours. We pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and we keep going. Everything that we do from here on out is going to build us up for the next thing that we end up doing, for the next project that we take on. You know, in trading, there are losses. There are losses. Sometimes the losses are really hard. But you don't take a look at the losses and say, oh my goodness, I'm a failure. You learn from those losses. And by learning from them, you're able to minimize them. And no matter where your life takes you, always know that you can move on. And everything that you've learned, even in your mistakes, are going to make you wildly successful going forward. I love you all. Have a great rest of the year. Have an awesome Christmas. Fantastic New Year's. And whatever other holiday that you and your family celebrates, I wish the best for you.
And I'm so mad. You know what? I'm almost tempted to go to Bellissima and buy it at full price.
I'll see you around.